Hello and welcome back to a new video. In the last one I showed you the first half of my builds in this world, where I slowly learned how to build and play the game. And now I will continue that showcase and show you the rest of all the builds. Enjoy! On my search for the plain biome, I found this little island off the coast and just really wanted to build something here. I decided on building something rather small, and it became an outpost where players could easily travel to and do most basic things. But it was only meant as a first step before going further into the mountains or the plains. So, and now this is the outpost. I'm just going to start here at the teleporter because this base doesn't have an actual entrance because it's just on a small little island. So you usually just get here with the teleporter, and here I have some decoration, some storage stuff, some stored materials, and this whole thing is actually like the lighthouse because it's like a harbor on this little island on the coast of this bigger island you can see around us. Yeah, it's like the lighthouse building, but at the same time also the teleporter building. And now you see a little bridge to the actual island. Here you have the like small tower, the actual home, and here the harbor with a flying boat. Okay. If you think so, I'm just going to leave you there. And so I'm just going inside this house. It's pretty small and only has like the most basic things because it was never really used that much. So we have a workbench with some upgrades and some decoration on the walls, and this banner, and a stair up here. And I mean, I think you can see I did like parts of it with stone and the stone foundation. I also did like the stair for a bit like in stone, and now it's wood. And up here it's everything just wood. Yeah, and this is like the actual space to live in, with, again, as always, 4 beds for the players, some storage on the side of here, and some tables with food and drinks, and as always my favorite decoration, the mannequins with the armors. Yeah, I think it looks nice. It's a bit of a shame that we never really used it, but you know, it was fun building, so I guess that's like the main thing of the whole playthrough, that I just had fun building and completely overdid it because it was never necessary to do what I did, but I did it anyways, so I guess it's my fault. In the end, this little house was almost never used. I think I was the only player to ever come here and actually do some exploring in the surrounding areas. Though the location looked quite interesting to me, it wasn't really the most practical. Both plains and mountains were on the same island, yes, but still weren't close enough, and nobody wanted to run around all the time. So I searched for a different location which was closer to the plains. Very close to the plains and a lot of room for me to build something big. This was exactly what I was searching for. Ever since building the village, I wanted to create another longhouse, but while back then I only had access to wood structures, by now I actually had the materials needed to really build big. And so I just did that. I built big. Now this would become our actual home base in the latter half of this playthrough, and as such really had everything one could need. There was the Great Hall itself, where basically everything important is, but then I also built a little farm in front of the hall, and actually another small farm a little further away in the plains, so we had a place to grow flax and barley. So, and now we are here at the Great Hall, as I like to call it. The main base of the whole playthrough. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the actual biggest build, but if it's not, it's probably a close second, so... Yeah, but before I'm going into the main building, I'm just going down here, because here I built a little farm with, you know, a little place for some vegetables, and here it's, I guess, like a storage house. I mean, no real function, mainly decoration, but I just liked it. And here we have some animals, which, I mean, we actually never really used this whole taming mechanic until the very end of the playthrough, and at that point it was just for fun and no actual use behind it. So these two live here, and I hope they enjoy it here. Yeah, and the house inside, it's just a basic little farmhouse. It's not really used, it wasn't really used. Here are some beds and some storage and just some stuff, but again, it wasn't really used, so I just put some things in here that it looks at least somewhat okay, but it was never really meant to be lived in, and so I also didn't really decorate the whole thing. And now, finally, we are going inside the main building of the, well, Great Hall. Now here on the outside, there's some crafting stuff, and again, some pet animals. Here's some chicken. Again, they don't really do much. This is also just a little stupidity. I've trapped a grey dwarf or greyling inside this little stone building. It doesn't do anything, but I mean, he just became kind of a pet to the whole group, so he lives here now. And his name is Julius, so yeah. Just going to leave him here. And here's again like a crafting area with a windmill and all the crafting stuff, the smelters, the different smelters, and the wisp fountain, I think. Oh well. And it's getting dark again. Oh well, we have light inside, so that's not a problem. Yeah, so just let's go inside. In this huge hall, I tried to do some decoration outside because it would just look like a giant wooden wall otherwise. Inside there is quite a few things. We have a like main floor and a upper floor, and it covers part of the whole thing. Then we have the crafting areas on the left and the right, so let's just start here with the smithing area with quite a few decoration stuff, some armor, some tools and weapons, a upgraded forge, a normal forge, and a upgraded black forge. Just yeah, you can on these forges you can create anything you can create right now in the game. I mean, generally you can just create anything in this whole building because it was and still is, I guess, the main base of our group. On the other side here there's the galder table, spinning wheel, some storage, and a fully upgraded cauldron. Just the cooking area. Yeah, it's getting dark again. I think I'm going to sleep. So, continuing on the next day. Yeah, where did I stop? Of course, the kitchen cooking area here, where you can again do anything you want. It's fully upgraded. Here are some crates to store all the food and ingredients. In the middle, of course, there's a lot of cooking stations for the more basic cooking. But also I think it just looks good having these things in the middle with some benches to sit around the fire. Just something cozy. Here there's just some food on display, nothing too much. And some rocks, and here we have the workbench area with again some tools as decorations. And again, fully upgraded, you can do anything you want. On this side I have built a few fermenters for all the meats and some storage for meats. And here's some tables where I guess you can sit and have a drink and eat. Because there isn't actually any... No, there aren't any there are tables, but there are no chairs on this side. So if you want to sit and eat, you would have to go over here. And now going up these stairs into the upper floor. Here I have another few things. For one, here's the teleporter that brings us back to the portal hub in the village. And some storage, though these are basically empty. They're more just to have something in this whole corner. And a cartographer table again. Just some decorative wood, I guess. And on this side is somehow the leisure part of the whole thing. Some a whirlpool and some drinks. Some treasures on this side, keys. I don't know, I just didn't really know what to put here, so just some decoration stuff. Again, a little table to sit and have a drink. And oh yeah, up here we have some more or less stupid trophies. I guess just that's something. It's just something to put over there. So yeah. And instead of doors, I just put these things like curtains. And here the same thing, but over here there's the beds, and everyone has like his personal little storage, and some storage over here, and all the mannequins with old armor stuff. And a beautiful little table. You can sit, have a drink, and watch down into the ocean. Yeah, a nice little place. And that's basically it for this build. This house stayed our base until the end of the playthrough, since it not only had everything we needed in it, but also because the island it's located on has almost everything. It was built in the secure meadows, but still it's pretty close to a dark forest, the plains and a mountain. And a bit further away, but still on the same island, there is also a swamp and some mistlands. Still, I just really wanted to build something in the mistlands, so I searched for a suitable location. This is it, the final build of the playthrough. I really just tried to build something big here, and not just one big building like the Great Hall, but something closer to a fortress. In this build I almost exclusively use black marble structures, since they really fit the best with the dark and rocky terrain of the Mistlands. Originally my intention was to make a new home base, but as I said before, the hall stayed the true home base. Still, this base was used quite a bit, since its location was perfect for starting expeditions into the mist, and even better, it was very close to a queen's lair. And now we have arrived at the final build, and I personally think that this is probably the best one. I don't know, I'm just really proud of how this one turned out. Even though the Great Hall is also pretty amazing, this one is just... you can judge it for yourselves, but I am just really in love with this whole thing. I'm generally just in love with the black marble structures, because you can just do quite a lot of things with that. And the whole rocky, mountainous terrain of the Mistlands is also just awesome to build. But yeah, enough of that. I'm going to start with the walkthrough. Here's the teleporter. Again, something different than before. This time like a structure out of black marble mainly. Doesn't really have a function, just looks cool, I think. Yeah, and here we have some decorations, a bench. Yeah, I just really had fun building this whole thing. So I think I will start back here. You see there's the ocean and some benches to sit here and just look out into the ocean, I guess. And down here we have the first part of the harbor with benches, some storage, but basically here's the place for the big boats, because you can drive in here, but I don't think I've even tried it. But it's pretty crowded if you put one of the big boats inside, and it's probably also a bit of a it's probably not the easiest thing to go inside there, so I just leave it outside. And it works fine. And if we go back up here, then we can go down to this part, like the bigger harbor part. But again, I just have a small boat here, though you could of course put multiple small boats. And if you watch it like this, I think the big boat does have room, but it might be a bit difficult to get out of the whole harbor. Oh well. It's not that important, but there's just some decoration around here, some storage, and a teleporter that brings you up to the main living house at the very top of the mountain. But I'm going to show you that later on, because we are going to walk up there. We're not that lazy, we don't need a teleporter. And of course, as in every home, I've built a trash can. Somehow like on this outside tower, shrine thing. I don't know, it just felt like doing something here, because it would have been like a flat wall that was somehow boring. Yeah, I mean I have a big flat wall over there, but I put some decoration on that, and well, on top of that it's not just a wall, but I will show you once we get there. Then here we have again just like some storage decoration stuff, a bench or two benches, table. Yeah, a lot of this whole build is just here for decoration and not really serves a purpose, but I think that's what makes it so nice to me. So yeah, we're just going to walk up these stairs all the way up, and here we have like the wall to the actual Mistlands, because in front of us is like the actual land way to the Mistlands. And so I've built this whole thing like a little wall, and inside these crates I have bows and arrows to defend this whole thing. In theory, it never really worked this way. Up here there's just a ballista, and again, in theory to defend this whole thing. But I mean, the whole base was only ever attacked by Gyals, and those things just fly over here and destroy stuff, so yeah. It's the thought that counts. And if you walk down here, there's the gate to actually get out of this whole thing, and you know, the way onto the Mistlands. But that's not something that's interesting for today, so again, I'm continuing with the build. So down here we now have this big wall portion, which is actually the crafting portion. So here I have the smithing area, again with all upgraded smithing stuff, like the normal forge and the black forge. And on this side there's the fully upgraded workbench and some just decoration stuff behind the whole thing to make it just seem a bit more alive. And the whole thing is hollow, so down here I have a storage place. And yes, I actually built one with signs, but it just never really got any use except this one crate. So yeah, I tried to make another one of these highly organized storage spaces, but it just wasn't used anymore, so I'm a bit sad. Yeah, and you have a pretty nice view outside here into the Mistlands. But as we continue on, the view is only going to get better. So a lot of stairs up here and around this whole mountain. And yeah, you have a beautiful view of the Mistlands and the ocean here. And you can know some benches to sit and enjoy the view. And you can go up here to the living tower, but I'm just going to continue for now down here. More beautiful views, and I guess this is like the wizard's tower. You can have a beautiful view of the whole harbor from here. And if you go down here, you can go into. You can here you have a throne and some wizard stuff, I guess, and a cartographer table, because I didn't really know where to put it, so I just thought that's a wizard thing. And down here the actual wizard crafting station and some of the wisp fountains, because I think they kind of look magic. So yeah, it's just a wizard tower, I guess, and the lighthouse, the bonfire. Yeah, it's not really the most beautiful place to stand, but it's needed to get to the whole thing and put wood on it. So just going back up here, up the whole tower, you know, some benches here to sit and enjoy the view. It looks pretty nice. So we're almost at the end of this build and of the whole video. So I'm just going up to the final piece of building of this building, and this whole tower is just a staircase, because I didn't want a tower up here just connected with a teleporter. That just, I don't know, that just felt wrong. So I've built this whole tower as a glorified staircase. And now we can go inside here, closing the door, and this is, yeah, just the place to live for us. And here is the teleporter, which brings us down to the harbor. And now this is the first and only building where I've placed the big beds, because I actually had enough room, and I built with the intention of putting the big beds here. And I've put all the armors and some decoration stuff around here. Yeah, just a cozy little place to sleep and live. And the upper floor, there's even more stuff, because here's like the actual living part, I guess, with a table with food and some, oh, empty armor stands, some storage, a whirlpool, because we always need a whirlpool, more decoration and storage stuff, and of course a whole cooking corner with anything you could possibly need. You can, yeah, just make whatever you want here, a fermenter. Yeah, I'm just really happy with how this one turned out. I mean, in retrospect, I'm probably happy with all the buildings, but I don't know, I just like this one the most. If you enjoyed this video, let me know and leave a like and comment if you have any feedback. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching.